All right, now let's talk about being efficient when you're working with effects, because y'all know I love being efficient. And so we're gonna start with bulk commands. So first, I can select multiple clips here, and I can add an effect to all of them at once. I can also select multiple effects over here in the effects panel, and I can add all of them to a clip at once. Now over here in my effect controls panel, I can select multiple effects here, and then I can right click and I can copy all of them. Then I can go over to my timeline and select a new clip, and I can just press Command V or Control V if you're on Windows to paste all of those effects on this clip here. So now you're gonna see all those effects are showing up here. I can also go over to a clip, and let's say that I want to copy all these effects that are on this clip. I could just select this clip, and then I'm gonna press Command C to copy all those effects, and then I'm going to go over here and right click on this new clip, and I'm gonna select Paste Attributes. And now I can paste all those effects from the other clip, or I can just check the ones that I wanna paste, and now those effects have been added to this new clip. Now, if you didn't want to go all the way up in this menu to paste the attributes, you could also set a custom shortcut for that. I've set it to Control V on my Mac, and that can make pasting effects even faster. Now, if I want to remove effects from a bunch of clips, but I don't want to have to click into each one of them, I can also just select them, right click, and go to Remove Attributes, and then I can pick which effects I want to remove. Or I've also got a shortcut set for this that I've set to Shift T for it's time to go, or it's time to take out the trash, or you're terminated, or I don't know, I ran out of shortcut keys. All right, next let's talk about source clip effects, because yes, you can add effects straight to your source clips. So I've got a fine cut here, and it's got these 3 long video files of me talking cut up into a bunch of small clips that are scattered throughout this sequence, right? So if I want to correct the color on all of these offspring clips in this timeline, but I don't want to have to click through and find them all, then I could just select my source clips over here in this project panel, and then I could drag my color correction effect straight onto my source clips. And now that color correction effect is going to cascade and be applied to all of my children clips in this timeline, or in any other timeline where clips from this source footage is used. I could also add effects to one of these source clips here by clicking on a little baby clip here in the timeline, and then going over to my effect controls panel and clicking on this left tab that says source on it, and I can add effects to the source clip right here. You'll also see that I've got these little FX badges on my clips, and they're gray when a clip has no effects on it, and then they're colored for a clip with effects, and they're gonna have a red line on the bottom of them if the source footage for this clip has effects on it. Now at this point, you might be thinking, source clip effects are dope. I'm definitely gonna be using them. They sound so efficient, but they are not perfect. So let's say that the effects that I added to these 20 source clips are just really ugly, like I messed up. Well, in that case, I'm screwed, because even though I can disable source clip effects, like maybe they're slowing down playback and I just want to turn them off real fast, there's no way for me to actually remove all of these effects at once. And so that means I would have to click into each one of these clips to remove the effects, and y'all know we ain't about to do that. So let me show you a workaround. This workaround is going to let you find all of your children clips in your timeline really quickly so that you can add or remove effects to them. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these A-roll source clips, and we're going to label them yellow. And you want to do this before you start editing. Now we're going to cut them up and sprinkle them into our sequence, and when we're ready to add effects to all of them, we're going to press Command F or Control F if you're on Windows, and that's going to let us find all of the clips in our timeline that we labeled yellow. Now we're going to click Find All, and Premiere's going to find all those clips, and it's going to automatically select them all for us, which is really great because now we can add effects to all of them at once. And if we change our mind, then we can find and select all these clips again, and then right click and go to Remove Attributes to remove any effects. And so I think this is a much more flexible way to add effects to a bunch of clips that come from the same source footage. All right, next let's talk about effect presets. And these are like templates for effects that can save you a ton of time. So let's go back to that faux stroke effect that I showed you in the last video. And let's say that I don't want to have to add and adjust all these drop shadows every time I want to add a border. Well, what I could do is I could just select all these effects, and then I could right click and go to Save Preset. and then we'll give our preset a name. And now when we search for that name in the effects panel, you'll see here's our preset that we can use on other clips really quickly if we want to. By default, your custom presets are going to show up in this presets bin, but you can also create more bins to organize your presets if you want. I don't do this because I always just find my presets by searching, and that's already really fast. One thing to know about custom effect presets is that unlike Premiere's built-in effects that let you just double-click them to add them to a clip, you can't do that with custom presets because that prompts you to rename the preset, which is annoying. So you have to drag custom presets to clips, and that's why I keep my effects panel right beside my timeline. You can also share your effect presets with another editor by right-clicking and going to Export Preset, and then Premiere is going to make a preset file that you can share. And of course, you can also import presets that other people have already made. So if you just Google free Premiere Pro effects presets, you can find a lot of them, or you can find big effects packs on paid sites like Video Hive or Envato Elements if you're interested. You can also download entire Premiere Pro template projects that other people have made, and these can be really complex and highly styled templates, and so a lot of people use these for intros. Like my intro sequence on YouTube was made from a template. And these are great because you can get creative inspiration from them. You can learn by seeing how the creator used different effects in the project, and you can also use individual assets from those projects. Like this background is from a template project that I downloaded, or this transition is from another template. And so they can be really useful and they can totally elevate your work, but keep in mind that they can also be very restrictive. So like if you want to put a longer title here, then too bad. The template might not let you, and they're not always so easy to customize, especially if they're not organized well or coming with clear instructions, which can sometimes be the case. So definitely keep that in mind if you're looking at a template project. By the way, you can download project templates at these sites if you are interested, and these are linked down in the resources below.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
All right, you have made it to Triple P number 3, so here's what you need to do. So first I want you to add multiple effects to multiple clips. And remember, there are different methods to do this. So first you can Command or Control click to select multiple effects in your effects panel, and you can just drag and drop those effects onto your clips. Another way is you can drag effects straight onto your source footage in the project panel, and those effects will automatically apply to any clips on your timeline that are made from that source footage. But since that method makes it hard to change your mind, you can also press Command or Control plus the F key to quickly find and select all the child clips in your timeline and add effects to them. Next, I want you to copy and paste effects between clips. And the first way I want you to do this is by selecting a clip on your timeline, then selecting some of its effects in the Effect Controls panel, pressing Command or Control plus C to copy those effects, and then selecting another clip on your timeline and pressing Command or Control plus the V key to paste those effects. The second way I want you to do this is in the timeline panel only. So you're going to select a clip there, then you're going to press Command or Control plus the C key, and that is going to automatically copy that clip's effects. Then you're going to select another clip and you're going to right click it and pick Paste Attributes, and then you can select the effects you want to paste on it. Next, I want you to remove the effects that you've added to a clip. So you can right click that clip and then select Remove Attributes, or you can use my custom keyboard shortcut Shift plus the T key to take out the trash. Lastly, I want you to add an effect preset to a clip. So you can create your own preset by right-clicking Effects in the Effect Controls panel and then selecting Save Preset, or you can import a preset by clicking that little hamburger menu in the Effects panel and selecting Import Preset. And either way, that preset will show up in the Effects panel from now on, and you can drag and drop it to your clips when you want. Once you're done with these tasks, then come back here and I will see you for the next video.